What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Real WerD podcast, a place where real thoughts, real ideas, and real words come to life. I'm your host, Drew, coming from San Diego, California. Thank you for stopping by, tuning in, checking out the channel. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit up those links down below. And now we can get into the episode. It is July 20th, 2020. It's Monday morning. It's around 6:30 in the morning. So welcome in. Hopefully everybody's weekend was a little bit better than mine. Mine had some good moments, don't get me wrong, but it all started with kind of Friday, man. Things have just been just really draining. And well, I guess it even starts before that. It starts from about 2 weeks ago now. But yeah, we will get into all of that. But yeah, man, it's been an interesting weekend. Just kind of pretty mentally draining. So like I said, it kind of starts with on Friday. I had my therapy appointment, and that was good. It was definitely needed. And I know I was supposed to have like the results from that personality test and stuff, but there has been just so much going on over the last 10 days up until then. And like I said, now it's been about 2 weeks, but there was a lot that kind of went on. And I asked him, I was like, there's a lot that went on. Would you rather me talk about that, or do you want to go over the results or whatever? And he said, no, let's talk about what's going on with you. The results will always be there. So we'll go over the results, next session or whatever, which will be another week or so. But he said nothing really stood out or would be surprising to him or myself. So, that just leads me to believe that, I do kind of have this understanding of myself and what it is I have. And now it's just trying to figure out how to cope and how to make it better and how to actually live with this instead of, doing the things that I do, which just cause a lot of problems, So, that's kind of where it started. And then, after my therapy appointment, I got a text message from my brother a little bit earlier asking if, so actually it was like a couple days prior, he asked if it was cool if we got together this past weekend and talk some things out, because it had been about since Father's Day since we've kind of seen each other. He's been busy with school, work, and all that, but also, he's taken a step back because the last few times we did see each other just turned into like arguments, and it got really bad and heated, and we both seemingly needed some time away from each other to kind of reflect and figure out how we can make our relationship a better one, because neither one of us want to just, when we see each other, argue. And it's like, I'm cool with having differences of opinions when it comes to like politics and social issues and stuff, but my problem always comes down to lack of facts. So it's like, when him or whatever, I'll just stick with him right now. When he's, spouting off incorrect news or facts or whatever, I take that personal, because on Friday he even said, like, I don't watch the news and I don't pay attention to it. So it's like, for them to or him to discount everything I say, because I do watch the news and I do kind of, try and pay attention and see what's going on. I'm a lot more aware, I guess, of what's going on. So, and then, they just completely discount. Well, again, I'm not going to say they. I just want to talk, focus on my brother, but it's kind of convoluted into like a bunch of different people. But I'm just talking about my brother right now. So it's like, he says is like he doesn't even watch the news or pay attention to it, and he doesn't even really know what's going on. And he just like discounts all of my facts and my evidence and my research that I've done into these subjects, and it's because it's the opposing view of what he believes, he just completely discounts it, and what I say just doesn't matter. And this is where the problem comes from. And like I said, this talk on Friday was very eye-opening and productive, and I think we both learned a lot about kind of each other. And like I said, most of it just usually comes down to me not being listened to or feeling disrespected, usually when it comes down to this type of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like when it's factual based and stuff that I've been learning about or researching, or it's like, don't I'm not saying listen to me, but like if you even admit you don't pay attention to it, it's like at least give me your ears and at least give me a shot, and then maybe look it up for yourself to see if I'm telling the truth, or you know what I mean. So it's like, it's just really tough, and it's like I feel I'm really open with people, like with differencing of opinions and views, because it's like if I am around a conservative, I will challenge them with more liberal beliefs. But if I'm around a liberal, I'll challenge them more with conservative beliefs, because that's how we grow as people. You get challenged, you have these conversations, and it just seems like a lot of people don't want these conversations. And if you have a differencing of opinion, you're called hateful, or racist, or just all these name calling things. And it's like, that's not what it is. That's not what it is at all. And yeah, I just feel like we need to give each other more respect when it comes to these types of things. Just because it's like I'm not in school or going through the traditional ways of navigating knowledge, it's like doesn't mean I'm not learning and I'm not paying attention. It's like that's all I do is try and pay attention to what's going on in the world. And that's why I can I've made some of these predictions that have started to come true, is because I'm aware of what's going on, and I've been aware of what's going on. And yeah, it's sad, because then it's like I get called like hateful, or what my facts, the facts that I present are labeled as like hate. And I just don't understand how that happens. It's like, there's this old saying, it's like facts don't care about feelings. It's like, and that's true. I don't really care how you feel when it comes to facts. Like, I'm sorry. Everybody has personal anecdotal evidence when it comes to things, and personal experiences, but we have to look at things from a bigger picture. And I'm not saying like, dealing with, let's take for example, COVID deaths or COVID stuff. It's like we have to look at the overall numbers instead of your personal account with somebody who's dealing with it or who had died from it. Of course it happens, it's sad, that life matters, you know what I mean? It's completely sad. However, you can't just like put all your emotions into that because somebody. We have to look at the bigger picture of things and go from there, you know what I mean? So that's where I think a lot of people get too much into their feelings when it comes to factual based things, and then that's when the name calling comes, and then that's where it's like, if I disagree with you, you're a racist and you're spreading hate. And it's like, I just think a lot of people have it just misconstrued, and like going back to the conversation with my brother, he has a personal thing against Trump where he doesn't like him as a person. So because he doesn't like him as a person, he won't give him the benefit of the doubt of anything that he's done for the country. He just discounts everything and won't, just because he doesn't like him as a person. And that is not cool. It's like, who cares what, like, as long as he's not hurting kids or animals, you know what I mean? It's like, who cares? It's like, if everybody's adults and, he said some crazy things and stuff, but I don't think, like, the media is just presenting him to be this crazy monster and stuff, and just people online are just spouting off just lies and fake news and all this stuff, and it's just so frustrating, man. It really is. It's pretty crazy. Let's get into this little snap. I have this more of this Tropicana punch from Farmer and the Felon, and I remember, a couple weeks back when my dad first got this stuff, I was not feeling the Tropicana punch or whatever it was. That first batch just was not that great. This second batch, I don't know why. I don't know if it was the only one they had or what, but my dad got it again, this Tropicana punch. But this time, man, it actually looked a lot better. Like, it wasn't looking like super crazy outdoor stuff, and like, it wasn't looking like that. And it's actually had a decent smell. And yeah, I don't know what happened, but that's what's frustrating too, is like some of the inconsistency with the flour. That's not cool. Like, if you go to a dispensary, you would want consistency. It's like alcohol is, what you're getting every single time. Like, it is what it is. So, and the main beers, like the main companies, like Coors, Miller, like, Bud, like those are gonna be, what you're gonna get with it. And I feel like cannabis should be the same way. It's like, we need consistency when it comes to this stuff. So, let's get into this. Cheers. Good little bomb hit there. Got my coffee. So, like I said, it was good to talk with my brother and have these conversations, and just try and have this understanding. And I know, like, I'm the one who causes the problems. It's like, I'm the one. And then, they've mentioned it before. Like, my family's mentioned it before and stuff. And this time it was brought to my attention again, more in a blunt, just straightforward way, just right in my face. But it's like, when we have family get togethers, it's like, everybody has to worry what my mood is going to be like. And if I'm in a good mood or decent mood, then the day's going to be good and decent. If I'm in a bad mood, then it affects everybody. So it's like, I don't do much, and I have isolated myself countless numbers of times when it comes to, going seeing friends or going with family stuff or whatever. Because I don't want to be the one that causes these problems, and I am aware of that. And it's like, I don't know what's better. It's like isolating myself and being alone and missing out on family or friend stuff, or going to that stuff and then ruining the vibe and ruining the time. I don't know what's better. I don't know what I should do in these situations, because it's like, I don't know what my triggers are. It's like, I can, like, it changes all the time, and I don't know what it is. It's like, somebody can just say the smallest little thing, and then boom, I'm just done. Or the same exact sentence or phrase can happen and I can just brush it off and everything's cool. So it's like I don't know these triggers, and it just seems to vary day to day and with how I'm feeling, and I don't really know what it is, man. But it's sad because I don't want my family to like not have these experiences together just because of me. You know what I mean? And like I said, I've not gone on a handful of family trips and stuff just due to the fact of my mental health and what's been going on. And I usually have kept it hidden and not vocalized it, but thinking about it and stuff is like, this is the reason why. Is like I'm the problem and I don't want to cause problems for a supposed good time. So I just really don't know what to do in these situations. And it's just learning, I guess, and going to therapy and just trying to gain a better understanding of myself and how to cope and navigate through it. And I just don't know, man, because like I've said before, this is like 20 something years of just bad habits and bad behavior and just this and in and out of counseling, therapy, and all that growing up. But it's like, I don't know, like I never felt completely understood, or I never felt like it was 100% until just about a year and a half, 2 years ago. um I came across, the definition and explanation of borderline personality disorder. And the moment I heard that and the definition and, the symptoms or whatever you want to call it of that, that's when everything began to change, because I've never heard something put into words that, explain the way I feel to a T, you know what I mean? And it's like I've hit every single one of those symptoms, or what, like I said, criteria that you have to hit, like however many there are, I'm only like not hitting one of them or something like that. And even that one's questionable from what I remember. But that's just me myself diagnosing it. It's like, but I'm in therapy, and I am with somebody who kind of deals with the behavioral therapy type of appointments and all of that. But again, I've been going for over a year now, and nothing has really changed in my eyes, and I don't know what's going on. But like I said, this is 20 something years, and I don't know if I'm expecting it to change in 1 year, or I'm usually pretty realistic, and that's why it's like it's gonna take a long time. But friends and family and those I love are over it. They don't want anything to do with it, and you know, I've pushed so many people away in my past just due to how I get. um and it's just interesting just to see kind of the patterns of how things have gone. But all I can do is just try and make these changes and try and be a better person, and that's all I do, is just want to be good. I want to be better, and I wish I could process things normally, like a normal brain or whatever, but like I don't process things the same. I don't take things in the same. I feel way more intensely than like a normal average person. I'm like pretty sensitive when it comes to things, but at the same time I could be really like cold-hearted and just kind of shut you off too. So it's a very complicated thing, and it's like I believe what I believe in, I want what I want, and that's, is not gonna change and hasn't changed. Especially now that there's been this understanding, of what it is, or at least in my opinion of what it is, that it's like, okay, this all makes sense, and now there's this understanding, okay, this eases that. Now this is just all I want. Like, it made it clear that, okay, this is what I want, and but it's like the damage has already been done because of my past. And that sucks, and it's like I only get frustrated and impulsive and all of that because people are only really judging me from the past instead of now. They're not giving me the opportunity to show them that it can be nice and it can be good, and then they're only judging me from how it was, and then I get really angry and upset about that, and then I become very impulsive, and then the cycle just starts all over again. So it's really frustrating because it's like all I want is for things to be nice and good for everybody. But like I said, I want what I want, and I believe what I believe in. And to be kind of, judged on my past is just, it sucks. And to not be given that second chance, third chance, whatever chance it would be, whatever you want to call it, it's just like, it makes me sad, and it makes me really frustrated. It's like, I really don't like, I don't like that. Well, I don't like myself for putting myself in this position, and it's like I wish I had the control. Like, I wish I had the self-control in the past and now to stop the things that I do, especially those like impulsive behaviors and stuff, but it's like I don't know how. I really don't. That self-control thing, that impulsive thing, it's like I don't know what to do. It's like I know it's wrong, and I'm completely aware at the time of what's going on, but it's like I can't stop it. If I get in that zone, in that mindset, it's like it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. And that it's just frustrating. And like I said, I just hate it. I hate myself for being this way. Like, oh man. Yeah. So we went there. All right. Yeah. It's just so that's kind of where I'm at mentally, man. It's like things don't change, and it doesn't matter how hard I try. Things just don't change. And I am trying to make the changes, but things are getting super overwhelming again. I'm only focused on like one thing, and there's things that I have to like take care of on like the bills side of things, and getting some phone calls made, but it's like I can't. Like, it makes me sick to my stomach. I get overwhelmed, and it's like I just don't even want to do anything. And it's just like when things are going bad around me in this, like, the relationship side of things, I just can't function. It's like that loneliness, that emptiness it takes a hold of me, and there's nothing I can do. Um, but yeah, let's keep it moving. Um, so yeah, like I said, my brother, we talked. That was Friday, and then I was just pretty emotionally drained after that. Um, things were, yeah, I don't. So Friday evening to Saturday ish is just lost to me. Like, I don't really know the rest of what happened Friday or Saturday. Honestly, like that has just completely escaped my head, and that's just due to being just completely emotionally drained from the conversation. And then, I think some things went down on Friday evening, just some personal stuff, and again, it's just it's all kind of a blur. When I get into that impulsive mode and stuff, it's like sometimes it's not like a blackout, but it's such an intensity where it's like I lose track of everything else around me. I lose track of time. So it's like I think I was just caught up doing some impulsive shit Friday evening to Saturday, and yeah, it just is honestly just kind of escaping me. And that's sad. It's really sad. But that's, I've blocked things out plenty of times in my past. There's a lot of things from my past that I just don't remember. And it's, usually dealing with lapses like that where I'm in these intense moments where I'm just being very reactive and impulsive, and it'll take a day or two to kind of come out of that type of intense feeling where I'm not drained, and then things will start to become more clear again. But so it's like I think that's what was going on. I was just being reactive and impulsive to things and only focused on one thing, and yeah, it's kind of lost. But I do remember somewhat on Saturday evening that some UFC fights were on. It wasn't a stat card, wasn't like a great card by any means, but you got to shout out UFC for putting on another fight night card, and this was the third event in like 8 days again or something like that. So they're really just trying to be consistent putting on their shows, and I guess they do have some shows to make up for, missing some early on during the lockdown and all of that. And, they have this deal with ESPN and they have to produce the shows. So it's kind of why we're getting some of these, lackluster cards. And, sometimes these fight nights will deliver. And, this one, to me, it wasn't exciting, and I found myself falling asleep throughout the evening of the fights, and yeah, a lot of like submissions and first round early stoppages and stuff. So like it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and fights were done. Card was over. And then that's just in comparison to like what the pay-per-view was. I know it's different, it's a pay-per-view and stuff, but the last pay-per-view went on to like 11:30 at night. Like almost 2 like 2 in the morning East Coast time. Like I remember being up at like 10:30, 11 something o'clock, and it like the main event was like just starting or something. Like it was crazy. And then we have this one ending at like 7:30 or 8 o'clock. It was yeah, pretty funny to see, the differences. But yeah, man, like I don't really remember much of this. Like I said, I was completely mentally drained, and they just weren't that exciting of fights in my opinion. And it was what it was. But you gotta, like I said, you gotta shout out UFC for at least delivering, putting on the cards, and just trying to keep the people entertained, So that's, gotta give them a shout out. They're trying for sure. And well, we have baseball starting this week, at the end of this week, Friday or something like that. So we'll see how that plays out. With all the traveling and the shortened season, if they'll even make it through the whole shortened season. And Yeah, man, it'll be interesting, but I gotta give a shout out to the Padres. Go Padres! This could be your year. This could be the season you guys are made for. A shortened season. Get your guys healthy. You have some good up and coming arms in the minors, or you could utilize and rotate throughout, and just make sure everybody stays healthy. And that's, you can't make sure, but do everything you can to stay healthy. And just go out there and let's win it, man. Like, the Padres have to just finally get one. It could be their year. It could be their year every year, but they do have a lot of talent on this roster, and if they all live up to their potential, man, it could be something for sure. But I am excited to see this season and what it'll look like with the universal designated hitter. Yeah, man, this should be a really interesting season coming up. So let's get into Sunday. So Sunday, excuse me. Yesterday was pretty cool. I got a text from my brother pretty early in the morning, like not pretty early, like pretty early morning to us is like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. So it was late into the morning at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I got a text from him asking if he wanted to go on a hike in the morning, like a little bit later in an hour or so, when he finished up some homework or whatever he was doing. So, yeah, and he said, yeah, invite dad too or whatever. So we all went. We picked up my brother. We went to this trail not too far away from his place, and we hiked up, that which went really quick. I hadn't been up that mountain in quite a while. Or it's not a mountain, but it's not a hill though either. The terrain, the incline, I haven't been up there in quite a while. So that was good, but it went really fast. I was like, oh man, I hope we're not done, because that wasn't even an hour long thing. And then yeah, so we kept going, kept walking, and we ended up walking like 6.5 miles or something like that. And it was like midday, like 10:30, and then we finished around like 12:30. So yeah, we ended up with like 2 hours, about 6.5 miles, and it was good, man. It was, oh man, this was super interesting. It's like, I wish I would have been more aware of it earlier on into our hike or whatever you want to call it. But maybe midway through, it's like we started noticing people who didn't have a mask on and didn't even like have one on them or anything were so friendly, man. It was so interesting. It's like I started, because I like saying hi to people, and I like, engaging, waving, whatever. But once I started noticing this, I was gonna just maybe walk around with a smile, and just see if maskless people engaged and masked people didn't engage, or just what would happen. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what happened, man. It's like maskless people were so nice, so friendly. Oh, hey, how's it going? Good morning. Oh, yeah. And, have a good day. Like, all that stuff. Almost every single person with the mask, just silent, kept walking by. Crazy, man. And again, it was a super small sample size. And, but there was all sorts of demographics out there, so it was really interesting to really kind of get this sample size. And it's like, it's not a legitimate study or anything by any means. It was just one day, one time, an hour thing, but it was just really interesting to see. Like, we all kind of talked about it, and my brother, so me and my dad have no mask, not anything on us or anything, and my brother has a bandana over his neck, and he would put it over if he was walking near somebody, but um it was just really interesting to see, the maskless people all almost, I was saying like 90 something percent of the maskless people said hi, good morning, and interacted and engaged. And almost 90 something, 95% of the masked people did not engage and just kept silent and kept walking. And it's like you couldn't even see if they're smiling underneath their mask to be like, at least when you're walking by, you can smile if you're not silent. Or if you're silent, you can just be like, like, hey, but they didn't even do that. And it's like you couldn't see the smile, but they didn't even give the like, hey, type of thing. So it was again super small sample size, and don't take anything from it, but I thought it was interesting. It's gonna be something I pay more attention to. And it's like I would like to see if all those maskless people are Trump supporters, or if why they're not wearing a mask. I mean, that's just something interesting. Because, like I said, there was kind of a wide range of demographics of maskless people, too. You know what I mean? It wasn't just this typical white male who was wearing a mask. It's like, no, I saw a lot of like white males not or wearing a mask. You know what I mean? So is it's an interesting thing, man. It really, really is. Something I'm definitely going to be more aware of and try to pay more attention to is like, does the mask make you more closed off? I would have to say, yeah, man. It's like you can't see people's expressions. You can't read people, man. And having a mask, it feels like you're just being silenced. You're putting something over your mouth, so it's like, I don't know. I really don't know. But I did find it extremely interesting. Like, way more maskless people were engaging and being friendly than, than the masked people. And the masked people, are the ones who are supposed to be more tolerating, progressive, liberal. They're usually, I'm not saying all by any means, but that's what's presented and portrayed. And more so what I've seen personally. Again, I don't go out, I don't see a lot, but from what I've seen, a lot of the people who are more in favor of the masks are, more on the liberal side. Again, there's crossover. My mom, I believe she's more conservative, and she wears a mask. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just find it all really interesting. I really do. Man, I was gonna say something else there. Maybe I'll find it again. Maybe I'll get back to it. I hate that. And then not much else was happening Sunday. WWE had Extreme Rules on. Kind of forgot about it at first, and then threw it on. I think I threw it on when the Bayley and Nikki Cross match was on, and so that's where I caught it from. And man, WWE product is just awful right now. It's like I haven't watched it in about a month because it had got so bad. The storylines are just so terrible to me. And then some of it's just like, are you serious? So I turned it on. It's like we're still dealing with some of the same storylines and same everything. And, just it's not exciting right now. Yeah, it's ever since it's like, I mean, WrestleMania was kind of the turning point for me. It was a decent, so okay, WrestleMania was decent. They pulled it off for what it was, and no crowd, and they did what they could. But ever since then, it's just been garbage. 100%. The only thing that is still somewhat entertaining, and like I said, I haven't watched it in about a month, was Bray Wyatt and his whole thing and the Fiend and that whole thing. That's still the most interesting stuff. And he's still the only reason why I would watch. He's the reason why I got back into it in the first place. Him and Ambrose, and Ambrose and now Moxley and AEW. But yeah, those two were the ones that got me back into it, and Bray and his character now is still just so great. But still, it's moments where it's like, why do you have to do this to him, WWE? It's like, just let him be, give him full creative control of that character, because when you start messing with them and doing these bullshit stuff, it's like, it's just dumb, man. It's really dumb. It's like they did that Firefly Funhouse thing with WrestleMania, which was really interesting, and but it wasn't a match, so that it was just really weird, and then they have this like swamp match here at Extreme Rules, and it's like, what would have been more interesting is if Braun really did turn back, man. Like if Bray was able to capture him and turn him back, use that mind control or whatever to have him come back. And it was really interesting. Was Alexa Bliss there supposed to represent Sister Abigail, or was it supposed to just be Alexa Bliss? And was he using her image? Like what was that? I see Bray's segments are always the most interesting, and he's always telling some truth in his promos. Always, man, he's dropping some shit. He's usually dropping some symbols as well, which is really weird, but I just find his character just fascinating, and it's just really interesting. But overall, man, the whole product is just trash right now, and it's frustrating. Like, it really is. But I guess that's what that's what you get when you try and cater to a PG audience, and now things are stripped down, no audience, and you have to cater to this TV audience, and budgets are gone. Like you're making less money, and people had to be cut, and yeah, man, it's all kind of being reflected. You can kind of see it, and to me, it's just a terrible product right now. It really is. But I mean, they're probably still just keeping going along, man. They probably don't care. I'm just like one viewer. Well, I mean, they lost a couple of viewers. Just me and my brother. I haven't been watching, but I still pay that network every month. I don't know, man. Maybe I should just cut ties with the network, and I'm sure I could find other ways to watch the pay-per-views, or just go back to like either missing them, or hanging out with the buddies watching the pay-per-views at someone else's house or something. I don't know what to do, because I'm not enjoying the product right now at all. So yeah, man, I can't remember what I was gonna say, but when it from a couple minutes ago. Let's just get into this snap here, and then we'll get into this last thing, and I will get on out of here. Cheers. Oh wow, that was a deep hit. Damn. You inhale so hard that like your head starts to get a little lightheaded. Whew. Good stuff. Good stuff. Wow. Good hit. So Ghislaine Maxwell who's charged with conspiracy and perjury in a multi-state sex trafficking ring involving 3 unnamed minors from 94 to 97. She was denied bail due to her being a flight risk and having foreign connections. So this is just really interesting. I mean, it seems like things are playing out. I mean, but have we seen a mugshot yet? And from my understanding, we haven't. So could this all be a play? You know what I mean? Are they playing us? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. This whole thing is just like interesting for sure. They're only getting her on these 3 years or whatever, 94 to 97. And I don't know. From what it sounds like, it just doesn't seem like the charges are as much as they should be, and it's only focused on these years. So it just seems like something else is going on, and that's why I personally don't think anything is going to happen to her. I know a lot of people suspect her to end up like Jeffrey Epstein, where she kills herself, but you know, it was a murder for sure. Like, we all know that there can't be that many coincidences for what happened in the Jeffrey Epstein thing. But in my personal opinion with this, I don't see anything happening just due to the charges that are there and the years that are there. I think she will, you know, if this is like legitimate, if she's even in jail, prison, whatever, I think she'll play ball. She'll do what she needs to do. They'll give her like the lightest sentence possible, and then, you know, we'll start to see the residual effects from that. Or nothing will happen. You know what I mean? It's like nothing might happen, and she'll be arrested, and we'll kind of forget about this in the next month or so, and then it'll just be over, you know? Just because that's how it usually works, because people aren't usually outraged at injustice, I guess only when it comes to police brutality. I don't know, man. And again, that's why I say all lives matter. That's what it comes down to. It's like we can't just keep picking and choosing like just a certain race needs help. It's like, nah, man. Us as a human race need help. Like, there is some fucked up shit going on throughout the world, and for you to just kind of be selfish and just, you know, pretend that your life doesn't matter is just, in my opinion, ridiculous. Especially when there's like bigger issues like with, you know, child sex trafficking. Like, I think that's something everybody should be outraged at. And where like those lives matter. You know what I mean? But it doesn't seem like it from this Black Lives Matter organization and movement going on. I hope that um I hope that can change. And it's like I was kind of saying not too long ago, like um where's the child trafficking protests? Like, where's the, you know, where's the real like, where are people protesting the real injustice? And I guess, you know, shout out to Temecula, Murrieta area, man. They've been doing some protests, and I guess they had one this weekend. I saw that one of my buddies, Isaiah, was there. It was like a freedom rally type thing, and recall Gavin Newsom thing as well. Again, I didn't go. I wasn't really fully aware of it, but I probably wouldn't have gone anyway, just due to everything going on mentally and stuff. But Temecula is also doing this like child trafficking protest thing later in the month, like at the end of the month, with more details to come later on, because I think they had problems with this last protest where they had to change venues last minute or whatever, change locations last minute, and yeah, who, I don't know what's going on, but like with why they would have to do that or what happened, but maybe they need more space or I don't know, but it just seems like they're, really trying to fight for freedom and fight for justice there, and I just hope, it kind of grows and spreads, because like those are the true injustices, man. It's like there's real shit going on, like that pedophilia, child sex trafficking stuff that is like we really need to crack down on, and people have been saying it for years, man, forever, that like pedophilia is, you know, what goes on in Hollywood, and people just always call these celebrities crazy, or they have mental health stuff, and when they try and talk about it and expose it, and it's like they're called crazy and stuff, and it's like people have been trying to warn us about this for a long, long time, and it just seems like nobody listened. And all I can do is just bring my voice to it, talk about it, and I just hope more people become aware of it, more people become outraged at it, because it's like when you look at the numbers, I don't know them completely offhand, but so many children go missing across the world every single year. And I know I touched on this in one of my previous podcasts, but it's like the Queen of England has an arrest warrant for them for missing children. Look it up. It's like factual. But it's not talked about. And I just saw I'm pretty sure I talked about this too. Excuse me, sorry. I recently saw this clip of Donald Trump saying like 800,000 kids go missing here in the States, and it's a Democrat problem. Like, I don't know if it is a legitimate Democrat problem, but it's like, what other president has ever talked about this openly and like wanted to bust these people and crack down on it? It's like I said, when you look at the numbers, when you look at what Trump's doing and saying, it's like, dude, there's like legitimately an issue, and it seems like he's trying to crack down on it. And I don't know, man. It's really, really interesting. And with the Queen having ties with Prince Andrew, and Donald Trump says that Prince Andrew knew about Jeffrey Epstein's island like pretty well and all that stuff, and I don't know, man. It seems like there's some real shit going on. A real battle. Like 100% when you look at all this, man, that's what it looks like. That's what it seems like. But people just kind of just focus on the distraction from the mainstream media. It's like they get you hook, line, and sinker every single time. Every single time. And again, you have people like, my brother, who is like, has their personal, you know, vendetta or whatever. Like, he just doesn't like Trump, so he won't even like give him a chance or like look into what he's done for the country or what he's truly fighting for. It's just like, oh, Trump, nope, bad. And yeah, I just think that's a bad way to kind of look at, I think, and that's like, I feel a lot of people do that. They're just like, I have my personal issues for Trump for saying the things that he says, for him being a TV personality, businessman, and they just have their personal, opinions on him that way, and they're not looking into his policies and what he's fighting for and what he's done. And I just think that's a scary way to live and a not good way to live, and just seems like it's a very ignorant way to live as well. But I don't know. What do I know? I don't go to school. I barely graduated high school with help from my teacher. Rest in peace to her. Um like she was amazing, and just completely helped get me through, man. Like she was a counselor like as well, She like I said, I've been dealing with mental health shit forever, for a long, long time. And that's kind of why I had to go to independent studies, because I couldn't deal with high school. I kind of had a really bad breakdown in about 10th grade. And yeah, I was done. I was about to be done with school then, and then I went to a charter school, wasn't feeling it, was about to stop again. And then found this teacher who just really helped me get through. And I graduated, I got my high school diploma and all that. So I did it. I feel like I didn't really do it, and I didn't really learn as much as I should have or could have, and I just kind of skated by. But again, shout out to my teacher again, rest in peace. But she just was an amazing help. And but yeah, man, that's kind of where my formal education kind of stops, you know what I mean? And but ever since I've been about that age, is like I've been constantly learning online, just trying to, alternative information, documentaries, like all sorts of stuff. Like I remember spending hours upon hours, going to bed at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, just from watching documentaries and looking stuff up, and just not being able to go to sleep because it's just so interesting. And so this has kind of always been a thing for me, for sure. But I think that's kind of it. I don't know what all my point was to all that. I know kind of started with the Ghislaine Maxwell thing, and yeah, man, we just have to really start fighting for these true injustices. And once we realize, we're not a bad country, some of the things that we were founded on, were negative. And, don't get me wrong, slavery was a terrible thing, and, should be recognized in history, and, it definitely should be taught. But we also need to be telling the truth about it as well, from all sides. And I'm not really going to get into that right now, like, because we're wrapping up, but that can be another thing we'll talk about at some point. And, man, we just got to come together, man. That's all it is. We just got to come together. And like I was saying, once you kind of realize that we have made these steps as a country and have implemented these laws to make things better for everybody, and everybody has freedom and the opportunity to make something of themselves, once you like realize that, you start to really understand that, oh man, this country isn't bad. It's like it has its moments of bad. It had its moments of, like, we still have its moments of bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we're like the perfect place by any means. There's no utopia. But once you like have that understanding, it's like you can start to, like, yes, there are bad people. Evil is out there 100%, and there are bad people in every sector of jobs. You know what I mean? there's bad people in every company. So once you just realize that, it's like you can start understanding that like we're not a bad country and we have so much freedom, and nobody in my opinion is truly oppressed anymore, and we've made so many steps to make sure these things don't happen, and laws implemented from the disabled to race to sex to all sorts of things, you know what I mean? Like we've just taken so many strides going forward, and we truly do have so many freedoms. And don't get me wrong, we have so many restrictions as well that I just can't stand, and some of these laws are just outrageous. And like the fact that we have to like pay for, you know, like to the government every single year for our car stuff, like registration and license and all of these things that it's like we do not need, and it's only just government making their money off of us. And so don't get me wrong, I hate all of it. That's why I'm for true freedom for everybody and all freedom, you know what I mean? And that comes down to drugs, to, you know, again, this is adults, like I'm talking about adults. um but again, who draws the line at what an adult is? Like what is the age of an adult? Like why is 18? And you know, there's been, I'm not saying this, but there's places across the world where they're still getting married at, you know, younger. There's places here in the States where you could still get married at like 16, 15 years old, something like that. So I don't know, man. There's just it's crazy out there. I'm kind of going off all over the place. I wanted to wrap up. Yeah, there's still just so much to talk about though. There really is. But we will end it. Tune in tomorrow for Tuesday Morning Tokes. I'll look for some cannabis news. I highly doubt there'll be a lot. But I can give you an update on my plants. That'll be interesting. Just kind of tell you everything about that. And yeah, tune into that Tuesday Morning Tokes. We'll see if Zach is available tomorrow to do an Instagram live. I'm not 100% sure. I know he was like on a little trip, you know, visiting some people and stuff. So that's kind of why we did the episode last week and didn't get the Instagram live last week. But I'm not sure if he'll be back and if we'll be able to do that. But anyway, and then I'll be back for a Real Word podcast on Wednesday. You can check out the Twitch at cult_of_gaming. I will do some live streaming here on YouTube as well. You can check the playlist and it'll be there. Yeah, that's kind of it, man. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Thank you, everybody. If you're still listening, I appreciate it. And until next time, peace.